Amber Beebe, and here I am with number 4 of our gut health class. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This last class will be some summary and some, kind of wrapping up this 4 week series that we had in July. And this is, a great way to be able to rewatch some videos that we teach live. Sometimes they really kind of conflict with people's working schedules. So today we're going to focus on nurturing your gut for long-term weight loss and really helping you build that healthier gut along the way. Here's a little look of where we've been on this journey. The first class that we taught, the gut health. Number 1 is the gut microbiome. What is it? Number 2 is how our gut health affects weight management. Number 3, your gut and inflammation or stress. And this class today is nurturing your gut for long-term weight loss. And so we'll put together some goals for improving all of these aspects of your life to help you heal your gut and balance out your microbiome and work towards continued weight loss that is much more possible because of the health of your gut microbiome. All right. So we will cover today, again, summarizing some things. What is the gut microbiome? Review how our weight is and our gut health affects our weight management, and then the inflammation and things like that, and how to improve our gut health to either start, continue, or maintain our healthy weight. All right. So remember back in the very first class, when we talked about the good guys and the bad guys living in harmony, people on the sidewalks, cars trying to get to work, many stopped connecting, everyone, right? And then this microscopic level that these bugs are working towards, and that we have this balance and we're in this microbiome in our gut, and it consists of trillions of microorganisms that are called microbiota or microbes, and it includes thousands of species. And so it's can be bacteria, it can be fungi, it can be viruses, and these bugs coexist kind of like the good guys and the bad guys, and they exist in our small and large intestine. And so we're trying to keep it all good, and we want this balance. We want people doing their thing. We want people following the rules. We don't want to have an increase of bad guys, because then we have more crime, we have more death, we have more pollution as far as like trash, things like that, when people aren't taking care of their city. So we don't want that. We want that to be prevented, because when we have more bad guys, we have what's called dysbiosis, or our gut is out of balance. Okay. And so we want to really focus on that. And working together is how a healthy body really has been made to do. And so when we have disturbances in that balance, like illness or prolonged use of antibiotics and things like that, then that's when we have the dysbiosis, and our bodies are more susceptible to disease in that case. Okay. And although our microbiome is developed early, right? By the time we're age 3 years old, it's a living organism that can be affected by different types of foods that you put in your body and your environment, right? So it's impacted by changes throughout our life, food environment, stress, illness, antibiotic use, times of celebration, happiness. These are all review items, and challenging times. And so we have to be very cognizant that these things can be affected by all of that. Our gut can be affected by all of that. And how does our gut bacteria help us? Right? Remember that when we talked about that a couple classes ago. It helps harvest inaccessible nutrients from the foods we're eating, which is really cool. It helps make vitamins, contributing to the making or synthesis of vitamins. It supports our metabolism of medications and increases the absorption of these medications. If your gut microbiome is all out of whack and in dysbiosis, you can't absorb your medications as well. And so that can be a problem. Um, right? You want your medications to work. It helps with your gut cell renewal. It also acts as a barrier against pathogens or things that can hurt your gut. And it also helps produce short chain fatty acids, the gut bacteria, and that will help protect the lining of your gut, which is also formed, if you remember right, from a high fiber diet. So short chain fatty acids are produced when certain species of gut bacteria break down fiber. So when we eat fiber, it helps increase this short chain fatty acid. And one of them is called propionate. And this chemical has been shown to increase a hormone that you may have heard of, in our first class called leptin. And leptin's the hormone that makes us feel full. So if we don't have a lot of fiber and we're not producing this propionate from the short chain fatty acids, we might not ever feel full, right? So we want to make sure that we're having that. So the gut bacteria, you can see how it can affect our appetite, whether we're hungry, whether we're full. And so some studies show that different bacteria can affect how these hormones really work. And so if we're eating a highly processed diet, lots of sugar, not a lot of fiber, it's no surprise that we're eating too much, possibly, right? We're not really feeling full, we're hungry all the time. And so this bacteria really helps determine how much and how often we eat, and they all work together to help us lose weight. So we talked about this too, the good guys, the bad guys, but remember this part. When we eat food, the gut breaks it down into small pieces, and only the smallest pieces get absorbed in our blood, and the rest is eliminated as waste, or as you would think, know as stool, right? So when we have calories like soda or juice or things that are super calorically dense, they're absorbed quite easily, and we're getting all those calories, so then our weight can increase. But when we have higher fiber foods, some of those foods that are not fully absorbed into our body and they are excreted as waste, then we're not absorbing all those calories, but we're filling up, right? So that's why it makes it harder to lose weight. So the bottom line is we keep coming back to how our bodies absorb these calories. And if you eat sugary calories, you're going to absorb more calories, and you're going to have more calories in than someone who eats fiber rich vegetables, fruits, some of these high protein dairy foods, things like that. And so when we eat processed foods, our brains are like, I need more, 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 because we're not getting satisfied. And it also, those highly processed foods, these one mean looking ones on the right, they also feed that bad bacteria. So fiber feeds good bacteria, sugar feeds the bad bacteria. Okay, so foods rich in fiber help us increase this beneficial gut microbiota. Uh, it's another way you might see it called prebiotics. Includes dietary fibers, things like that, that can really help regulate our inflammatory response in our gut. And it helps these foods, high in fiber, diminish the pathogenic bacteria in the gut. So when we eat more fiber, that's what the research is saying, that we will be losing weight. So whole grains, these are grains that have not been refined. They're digested by a healthy gut, and they may aid in weight loss. Fruits and vegetables have different fibers that are also good for the gut bacteria, nuts and seeds, things like dark chocolate, green tea, polyphenols that cannot be digested or broken down are also helping the growth of good bacteria. Harmful to your gut is sugar. A lot of studies are showing artificial sweeteners. Some of them, like aspartame or saccharin, can be harmful to your gut. All right, so a prebiotic supplement can be very beneficial in helping you get that extra boost, that extra fiber that you need without choking down. I can't stand Metamucil, bleh, where it's like if you don't drink it fast enough, it just makes you stuck in your throat. So when you get too much fiber like that, it can actually increase your constipation. So you got to be really careful that you have something that can mix clear. This one is a product that can mix clear. Benefiber also has one that can mix clear. So, and especially if you've had weight loss surgery, you need to make sure it's something that could be mixed clear, and it's not like gonna feel like it chokes you and then maybe get stuck, in your pouch, in your sleeve. So having this supplement can really be beneficial to building a healthy gut microbiome. It has 6 grams of fiber per scoop. So it's a great boost, right, to get you there. All right. Also, what types of foods can we eat to improve our gut? More high probiotic foods like yogurt, kefir, tempeh. Tempeh is a fermented soybean, kind of like it's kind of like a cake. I don't know if you've ever had tempeh. It's hard to find. Well, not hard to find. It's in like different areas, like with tofu and things in the grocery store. More high prebiotic foods like blueberries, strawberries, apples, reducing the consumption of meat. Red meat specifically can be kind of hard on our guts, and it doesn't mean you can't eat it. It just means that it has one of the amino acids, carnitine. It's a compound that's found in red meat, can interact with the gut it's not amino acid. My apologies. It's a it's a compound in red meat, and it can interact with the gut bacteria, and it just has the highest level of carnitine. So things like chicken, fish, or plant-based proteins are lower in that, and so it can just be helpful to your gut. And then limit highly processed foods, crackers, breads, sugar, artificial sweeteners, are, you know, obviously we keep coming back to the same foods in almost every class we teach. High protein, high fiber is the best for weight loss and weight maintenance, and nearly zero sugar, as it feeds the bad bacteria and is detrimental to your gut health. And when our gut health is off, our bodies want more and more and more, and it can really impact our weight loss journey. So, and we also must slow down and enjoy our foods and stop when we're full or just not hungry anymore. Our hormones are trying to talk us out of eating more. If we can slow down and listen, our gut hormones and our brain and everything's trying to talk us out of eating more. So the good bacteria or good bugs impact our ability to regulate these hormones. So it makes us want to eat more or less. So if we have more bad bugs, then we're going to want that sugary foods. They're going to scream for more. Some of you are like, I can't shake the sugar craving. We got to look at some better foods for your gut. So where are you now? Okay, so I know we talked about this last week or last class. Where are you now? Look at where you're at. How are you doing? Are you craving sugar all the time? Right? What's going on in your body? So what are some recommendations for today? This is what you're going to go home with. This is your tools. This is what you're going to do right now. Eliminate all sugar and white flour. I'm sorry. These are things that are terrible for us. And of course, when we say eliminate, we mean like don't eat them. It doesn't mean once a week. I had a patient like, well, I only do it once in a while. Well, once in a while is detrimental to your gut. So if you can eliminate it and then have it on a special occasion, whatever, a wedding, an anniversary, that sort of thing, then that's once in a while. So that's the first thing you can do. No sugar, no white flour, no juice. If you cannot stop, switch to sugar-free options to start that journey. That's the first thing you can do. Okay. The second thing is to increase our plant foods. We all need to do this. Yes, even at breakfast. Veggie scramble, lunch. I'm so sorry. Lunch and or snack, raw veggies, hummus, guacamole, snack on olives, snack on nuts, fruits, small amounts of cheese and meat, having plants at every meal. Okay. So that's number 2. All right. Those are the 2 things you can do. Big time help your gut. Focus on anti-inflammatory foods. Those are what we just talked about. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, beans, seeds, things like that. Not the inflammatory foods, which are sodas, junk food, things like that. Things that also can increase our inflammation, stress, certain medications, some of our genetics, infections. Those can all lead to gut inflammation. And when our gut is inflamed, we're going to crave more stuff. So foods that cause inflammation, all these processed foods you see right here. Beer, cookies. I love this AI picture. These hot dogs look hilarious. All of this is inflammatory. Okay. That's what we want to avoid. So we want to help reduce inflammation. We want to have flax seeds, chia seeds. We have a fantastic chia seed pudding recipe that can really help boost your fiber and help your gut microbiome. Beans, yes, beans. Some of them are like, hey, they're really high in carbs. Yes, but they're high in those fermentable carbohydrates that are high in fiber that end up feeding the good bacteria, and you end up not even absorbing all of those calories because it's so high in fiber. Whole grains such as steel cut oats, vegetables like asparagus, artichokes, garlic, and onions. Supplements can also help, but a lot of times probiotics get broken down in the stomach acid and you don't absorb them into your gut. So it's better to eat whole foods. It really is. Save your money. There's very few probiotics that make it past the stomach acid. Some of them are like time released or something like that. And then prebiotics is just another name for fiber. So, and those foods are going to help feed the good bacteria and munch up any kind of bad stuff that are in there. There are some stable stomach acid stable resistant probiotics, and they're listed there. One's called Balance One. This is on Amazon. One is called Seed, SEED DS-1 Daily Symbiotic, New Rhythm Probiotics. Best bet though is things like sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kefir, yogurt. Those are real food sources of probiotics. So that's your number 3. Start eating more foods high in probiotics or taking a supplement if you want to try that. Okay, number 4. This is a key one. This is something almost all my patients resist, is moving our bodies. I tell you what, wow, after listening to Jen's talk on brain health and then this on gut, everything comes back to the same things, the same foods, the same movement, everything, more water, all of it. It doesn't make, I mean, it's not rocket science. We have to move our body for our gut motility to also work. So regular physical exercise helps stimulate the muscles in our digestive tract to move through the stool. If we're sitting on our rear all day or not moving or on the couch and you wonder why you're not going to the bathroom, that's why, right? That's part of it. Obviously, too, what you're eating, but increasing your blood flow, the digestive digestive organs, enhancing nutrient absorption and waste removal. In addition, exercise can positively alter the composition of your gut, potentially increasing the diversity and the abundance of beneficial bacteria. Okay. So this also can help you with stress. The longest nerve, the vagus nerve, goes straight from the gut microbiome to the brain. And research keeps showing that similar to having lots of toxins in our environment, having a very high stress life can block the vagus nerve's function. And unfortunately, ongoing stress prevents your gut from working the way it should. Deep breathing, meditation, mindfulness, getting adequate rest can help, right? So we want to look more into, right, focusing on that self-care, getting good sleep, your well-being, all of that. That's number 5. Leads us into number 5, manage stress. Really important to our brains, really important to our bodies, especially our guts, right? So many other things, but it's very, very important. Okay, final summary, thoughts on the class. Number 1, aim for eliminating highly processed foods and replacing them with healthier options. Number 2, aim for more plants. Number 3, aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Aim for moving your body a minimum of 3 to 4 days a week for 20 to 30 minutes a day. And aim for starting meditation or deep breathing exercises during stressful times or taking a break. Okay. Here's a day building gut health, approximately 25 grams of fiber for women and 38 grams of fiber for men. Or a better way to look at it is about 14 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories. Sun fiber, 1 scoop in the morning with water is 6 grams of fiber. Chia seeds in your yogurt, 1 tablespoon is 4 grams of fiber. A half of a cup of pinto black or white beans is 7.5 grams of fiber. Berries throughout the day, about 3/4 of a cup, gives you 6 grams of fiber. So far, that's 23.5 grams of fiber, just with those foods that I just listed. Other things high in fiber, an apple, a little apple with skin, 4 grams of fiber, 1/2 cup cooked cabbage, 4 grams of fiber, a half a cup of acorn squash, 4 grams of fiber, an ounce of pumpkin seeds. This is the sweet one, 5 grams of fiber for just an ounce of pumpkin seeds. A kiwi fruit, which is one of the, I watched like a fiber talk. They were talking about how amazing kiwi is. 2 grams of fiber per kiwi, which seems kind of low, but if you eat a couple of them, you're going to get 4 or 5. So really need to focus on that prebiotic and that fiber. Any questions? You can email me. Here's the email, bariatricsupport@slhs.org. If you have any questions, you want to know more about things, I'm happy to send you whatever I've got because there's lots more to come on the gut health. But again, those are some 5 things. I know that sounds like a lot, but pick one. Pick one and your gut's going to improve. I tell you what, it can happen. I did it. I did a lot of those and I did improve my gut health. I'm here to tell you, I feel like I've gut health issues my whole life, like I said in the first class, and I have really, really helped through a lot of those things. So it can be done. All right. Thank you for coming. Have a great rest of your day.